Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Remember, they're general readings. Use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So just to say, there are some changes coming to Reydiant Reality. So here in the Reydiant Nation, which is you guys, there are going to be some shifts and some changes. Don't worry, I have listened to everything that you guys have said. I know you hated the fortnightly readings. Personally, I thought they were great, but you guys didn't like them. So I've come up with something that I think is going to be just as much valuable to you. And more importantly, it allows me to continue my client work, which is quite important to me. And also it allows me to, somewhat have a life as well. All right. So stay tuned. I think you guys are going to love it. You'll have to let me know though, because obviously I don't know how you're going to feel about it until the time comes. So stay tuned. So with that said, your key to the week this week is the Wheel of Fortune. This is one of your cards actually, because the Wheel of Fortune represents Jupiter. So this is you in your energy, luck, success, abundance, a change in circumstances. Maybe not necessarily a breakthrough, but this week you're definitely starting to see the results of things that you've already set into motion. And it's really interesting because the day that I'm recording these is literally the day before, or the day before your full moon, or it may be even the full moon, give or take where you are in the world at this moment in time. So in all of these different areas of life, you are about to see a shift or a change in your luck, which I am fairly certain that you will be very happy about. So for your actions and options, you got the Devil card. Okay. So look, this combination can actually speak to a gambling addiction. So what I want to say to you is, have a punt, right? Absolutely. But make sure you keep your wits about you, right? Because you've got the Devil card in your actions and options. This is about what you do. You may be gearing up to take a move or to make a move of some sort that you know is a gamble. And I gotta be honest with you, if it's a gamble that you're kind of thinking, yeah, you know what, this is going to cost me a heck of a lot, but equally, right, as much as I could lose big, I can also gain big. I'm going to be really honest with you and say I think you're betting against yourself here, and it might not be the best option for you. That being said, the Devil card can also show up where we get that really healthy obsession, and what, because the Devil card is Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy holds to things, right? It knows how to build for the long term. It will stick to a goal, come hell or high water, until it is seen through. And sometimes that really is the energy that we need to exhibit in order to succeed. And so you might get the bug this week where you think, you know what? No, I'm going to stick out for this. I'm going to hold out for it because this is what I feel is right for me at this moment in time. Now, with that said, the options that are available to you this week are to get really stuck into something, right? To get really obsessed with something. And one of the things that I think is important to note here is if you use this as a calculated risk, right? If you take a calculated gamble and you bet on yourself in terms of, I'm not going to let anybody fucking outwork me, right? I am going to show up in, come hell or high water, rain or shine, snow falling, you name it, whatever it is that comes at me, I'm going to get through it. I will find a way. If you can exhibit that energy, absolutely go for it, because you're betting on yourself. If you're betting against yourself, which is it'll either go really, really well or it'll go really, really wrong, I'm not sure this is the right time to do such a thing. All right. For your communications and conversations, you've got the 10 of Swords. So what do we see here? This is the number 10. Wheel of Fortune is also the number 10. Two tens represents change. And it's usually a big change at that. This is a change coming to the career, a change coming to the academic sphere. And in terms of the quality or the level of communication that you're having this week, you're having conversations about what has come to its natural end or completion. You're also seeing the results of things that you've already set into motion when it comes to your career or your academic sphere. So when it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could be where you are completing your studies And I got to be honest, if this is the case, you could have that sort of post-degree slump that people go through. It's like, you know, you spend 3 or 4 years, or even 5 years if you're doing a doctorate, in that really sort of hard study sort of era. You're doing everything that you can, and then once it finishes and you've got nothing to do, a lot of people go through like a real slump, right? You spent so long burning so hot and bright, you've got nothing else, and you're like, oh shit, okay, well, what comes now? The other thing with this, because it's underneath the devil card, you might be hell-bent, right? All Sagittarians, working, not working, etc. You might be hell-bent on seeing something come to a close. And quite frankly, for some of you, and this is most likely for those of you that are studying, or for those of you that are employed by somebody else, you might be looking to burn something down. And to be honest with you, it looks like it's just for the sake of it, right? Maybe it's because of a difference of opinion. Maybe you don't agree with the structures or the traditions or whatever the case might be. But there is an element of this where it's just like, because I can, because I don't like it, right? Watch out for cutting your nose off to spite your face this week. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, similar kind of feel, right? We all get pissed off with our jobs from time to time. I mean, I don't really have that problem anymore. I don't say that to boast. There are certainly things that I wish I didn't have to do, absolutely. But for the most part, I feel very privileged and I love what I do. The reason I say this is because I remember what it was like to be, employed by somebody else, and there were some days where I was like, I will chuck a match before me, right? Or not behind me, not before me, but bitch, I will chuck a match behind me, right? Don't tell me about I can't burn bridges. Fuck you, I'm out, right? In fact, that's actually how I left the last ever job that I ever had. I got up off my desk at lunch and said, toodaloo, motherfuckers. All right, well, I mean, I didn't actually say that, but I just literally never went back. They phoned me like, oh, where are you? So I won't be back, like, ever. Right, I just didn't go back. Jokes aside, one, have something else to go to. Two, maybe you disagree with where the company is going as a whole. Again, find a way through this so that you don't shoot yourself in the foot. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, if you are getting rid of a product or a service, make sure you have something else to migrate your customers and your clients to. Otherwise, again, you could be throwing away your clientele, and without it, it's almost like you're just doing something that really rash. Now, one thing that I can say about Sagittarius energy is you guys are boisterous, you're larger than life, you're a lot of fun, you're very direct, right? You kind of say it as it is, which is one of the things that I love most about Sagittarian people. But this looks like you're making a really rash move this week. And it's like, why? What is going on with you? All right. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this I actually think is you denying somebody, whether this is a family member, whether it's a friend, maybe you're withdrawing your financial support, or maybe just maybe not even your moral support, but like your support in general. And it's almost like you're saying, no, I'm not going to be that person anymore. I'm not going to be, whether it's your cheerleader or the person that backs you up. And it might be because you see that this person is in the wrong. And again, it's very unlike you to bite your tongue. So what are you holding back for this week, I think needs to be the question. When this is likely to shape up, it's probably going to be about or around Wednesday. So check that out. For your love and relations, you've got the Two of Cups. This is partnership, relationship, significant other. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, the Two of Cups with the Devil card can be a relationship that is stifling. And if this is something that you feel about your relationship, I invite you to speak to your partner with honesty, openness, and integrity. You're one of the signs with the most integrity out of the whole zodiac. Demonstrate that here, rather than doing something that you're going to regret later, rather than, for some of you as well, it looks like there's something that maybe your partner has done, or something that they have, something that you found out about them, but it's like you're holding it to your chest and you're using that as justification to treat them badly. I just got to say, like, if this is the case, isn't it better just to pull them up and say, listen, you've done this and it makes me feel a certain way. It's just so weird to see you guys in this. Maybe it's because you're in shock. That's very, very possible, right? Now, outside of that, on the lighter end of the scale, The Wheel of Fortune mitigates this somewhat, which means there is a chance for you to talk it out, but with that Ten of Swords, where it goes, it may just be one of those moments where it's like, you know what, it's just not working, right? It's not for all of you. You'll know if I'm talking to you. You'll know if this is the case, but for a lot of you, I have to say, like, be about it. For those of you that are single and looking, quite frankly, this is kind of like in my head, the song that I'm hearing is like, we found love in a hopeless place. And it looks like that, right? In amongst all of the fire and the rubble and things raining from the sky, you potentially find someone that you think like, wow, you know what, this person is kind of a bit of all right, and maybe vice versa. Honestly, I don't think this week you're in the best place to make that kind of decision. So keep it light, keep it as a potential, and see how that shapes up. Before we get into your money and materials, if you haven't yet signed up for the Lunar Lacuna, it is a 12-month voyage around the zodiac using our fair Luna to manifest all of the best hopes, goals, wishes and dreams of our lives. If you haven't seen it, there are videos out there. The links for those will be in the description box below, as will the sign up link for you to sign up. You can pay monthly or annually. It's completely up to you. It's totally accessible in terms of a price point. It would be lovely to have you there. So if you want to find out all about the Lunar Lacuna, check all of that out, and it would be great to see you there. For your money and materials, you've got the Ace of Cups. So out of everything, quite frankly, I think your money is the thing that's really performing this week. You've got this with the Wheel of Fortune. This is a boost or a blessing to the finances of some sort that shows up, and potentially in a way where you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that in any way, shape or form. I love this for you, and you know what's funny? I think this is going to show up for you right out of the gate, like literally as we get to right at the start of the week. It's like, bam, there's some kind of financial boost or blessing. Buy your lotto ticket, buy a scratch card or two. Don't put your house, your wife, your car, your keys on the roulette table. But, you know, there's definitely some kind of financial reward and or blessing that shows up for you this week. And it's possible that maybe that's what causes the problem this week. Right? It's not so much that somebody doesn't want to see you happy. It's more a case of like, well, you know, I should get a portion of that, or I should get a share of that, or whatever the case might be. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, one of my favorite cards for health, I will say this is a very fertile week. So if you're not looking to get pregnant or to have kids, handle your business. You know what I'm saying? For those of you, when it comes to your home and environment, this is potentially, for some of you, I think this is you putting the feelers out about a change of location. For others, if you're looking for a new place to live, this could be some really good news around that. The other way that this like windfall or financial blessing could show up is you find what you would consider your dream home, and you realize like, hang on a sec, this is actually accessible. Like it's not costing an arm and a leg, or the price that it's advertised at is reduced in some way. If that is the case, just double check some of the fine print, or maybe go and view it more than twice, so that you can, you know, because the first time you view a place, you miss so many details. Oh my gosh, like you miss so many details because you're just like, you're ready to get out of where you are, right? The second time you see a bit more, the third time you see it for really what it is. So my advice would be, if this is the case and you are looking for elsewhere to live, view it at least twice, at least. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.